You know, as a health educator who's worked with older adults for many years, I've come to learn something very important. It's not always the big dramatic health scares that put us at risk. More often than not, it's the quiet, everyday habits, the things we repeat over and over without even thinking that can slowly lead us down a dangerous path. And by the time we notice something's wrong, we're already dealing with serious consequences. Today, I want to talk to you about something that often gets overlooked: our bedtime routines. More specifically, I want to shine a light on 6 common bedtime habits that many people over the age of 65 still practice without realizing that these habits could be quietly increasing their risk of a stroke. Now, this isn't meant to scare you. This is meant to empower you. Because once you understand the connection between these nightly routines and your long-term health, you'll be in a much better position to make simple changes that can protect your brain, your heart, and your life. Strokes are often thought of as sudden, unpredictable events, but in truth, they're usually the result of small imbalances building up over time. High blood pressure, poor circulation, inflammation, all of these are influenced by what we do during the day, and especially by how we wind down at night. So let's get into it, gently and clearly, like a friend sitting across the table having a real conversation. If you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, or you have a loved one in that age group, this is the kind of information that could genuinely make a difference. Let's begin with the first habit. Habit 1, eating late at night, especially heavy or salty meals. One of the most common habits I see, especially among folks who live alone or whose schedules are a bit looser in retirement, is eating late at night. And I don't mean a small, healthy snack. I mean full dinners, rich in fats, carbs, or salt, eaten close to bedtime. Here's why this matters. When you eat heavy meals late at night, your body shifts energy into digestion instead of allowing you to relax and enter a deep, restorative sleep. Your blood pressure may spike due to the salt and fat content. And if you already have conditions like high cholesterol, diabetes, or high blood pressure, which are common after 65, that late night meal becomes even more problematic. Nighttime is supposed to be when your heart rate slows, your blood pressure drops, and your body enters repair mode. But if you're processing a big meal, your body stays on high alert. That keeps your blood pressure elevated through the night, which silently strains your arteries, including those in the brain. Over time, this stress contributes to arterial stiffness, plaque buildup, and yes, stroke risk. So what's the better alternative? Try to finish your last full meal at least 2 to 3 hours before bed. If you're hungry late at night, reach for something light and heart-friendly like a banana, a few almonds, or a small bowl of oatmeal. It's not about starving yourself. It's about letting your body rest. Habit 2, sleeping in a reclined position, like in a chair or with too many pillows. This next one might surprise you, because for many people, it feels comfortable and even helps with snoring or acid reflux, but it can be risky in the long run. I'm talking about sleeping in a recliner chair or propping up your head with too many pillows. Now, why would that be a problem when your body's reclined but not fully horizontal? It interferes with circulation. Your blood may not flow as freely to your brain, especially if you have conditions like clogged arteries, atrial fibrillation, or any history of TIA, also known as a mini-stroke. What's more, sleeping in a semi-sitting position can make it harder for your body to regulate blood pressure. Your heart may have to work harder to pump blood upward, which again increases strain, especially overnight, when your blood pressure is supposed to dip naturally. This doesn't mean you need to lie flat like a board, but ideally, your head should be slightly elevated just a little to help with breathing, while still keeping your body in a fairly horizontal alignment. A wedge pillow or a single medium firm pillow can strike the right balance. If you find yourself sleeping in a recliner because it helps with breathing or pain, consider consulting with your doctor. There might be underlying conditions like sleep apnea or spinal pain that need a better solution than sleeping upright. Habit 3, skipping your nightly medications or taking them incorrectly. This one is more common than most people realize, and it's one of the most dangerous. As we age, many of us end up taking medications for things like high blood pressure, cholesterol, or blood thinners. These medications are often prescribed on a schedule, and many are meant to be taken at night. Missing a dose or taking it at the wrong time can make a real difference, especially when it comes to stroke prevention. Here's why. Blood pressure naturally dips at night, but for people with high blood pressure, that dip may not happen correctly. In fact, doctors now recognize something called non-dipping blood pressure, where pressure remains high through the night, increasing the risk of stroke. That's why some medications, especially those that manage blood pressure, are often prescribed to be taken in the evening. Taking them regularly, at the right time, helps protect your arteries overnight when you're most vulnerable. But what happens when we forget or when we take our pills earlier or later each day without thinking, the protective effects wear off, the consistency drops, and slowly, the risk creeps up. So here's my simple suggestion: set a daily reminder. Keep your pills in a place where you'll see them. Maybe create a short evening ritual: brushing your teeth, pouring a glass of water, and taking your medicine right after. It's one small habit that could protect you from a life-changing event. Habit 4, not managing nighttime stress or worry before bed now. Let's talk about something that's less physical, but just as powerful: mental stress, especially the kind that creeps in at night. You know the feeling. The day winds down, the house is quiet, and suddenly your mind starts racing. You begin replaying old conversations, worrying about health, money, family, and before you know it, it's midnight and your body is still on high alert. This constant stress, especially at bedtime, triggers your body's fight or flight response. Cortisol levels rise, your heart rate increases, and blood pressure spikes. And this doesn't just impact your sleep. It quietly damages your blood vessels over time. The link between stress and stroke is very real. Chronic stress contributes to inflammation in the body, raises blood pressure, and increases the risk of both heart disease and stroke. And if you're over 65, your body doesn't bounce back from that pressure as easily as it used to. So how do you stop the cycle? Start by creating a short wind-down routine. This doesn't need to be complicated or spiritual, just something gentle that signals your body and mind it's time to rest. Here are a few ideas: a warm bath or shower, light stretching or slow breathing, listening to calming music, writing down your thoughts in a journal, saying a simple prayer or affirmation. Even 5 minutes can change your chemistry. When your mind is calm, your blood pressure drops naturally, and when your body feels safe, it sleeps better. Over time, this reduces your stroke risk dramatically. Don't underestimate the power of calm, especially at night. Peace of mind is not just emotional, it's medical. Habit 5, sleeping in a cold room without proper warmth. This one might sound old-fashioned, but it's something I've seen happen more than you'd think, especially in winter months or for people trying to save on heating costs. Sleeping in a cold room without enough warmth, such as not using enough blankets or turning off the heat too low, can actually trigger blood vessel constriction. When your body gets cold, your blood vessels narrow to keep heat close to your core. That might sound harmless, but it can increase blood pressure and raise the risk of stroke, especially in older adults. The heart has to work harder to circulate blood. And if you're already dealing with hypertension or stiff arteries, this additional strain can become dangerous. What's worse is that you may not even notice it. Many seniors have reduced temperature sensitivity, so they don't realize their body's under thermal stress until it's too late. What's the solution? Keep your bedroom comfortably warm, ideally around 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Use layered blankets rather than one heavy one so you can adjust easily. And don't hesitate to use socks or a hot water bottle if your feet tend to get cold. A warm body sleeps more deeply and more safely. There's even research showing that warm feet can help signal the brain that it's time to fall asleep. And when your sleep is deep and your body's relaxed, your blood pressure follows suit. So, staying warm at night isn't just about comfort, it's about protecting your heart and brain. Habit 6. Ignoring sleep apnea or loud snoring. The final habit is perhaps the most silently dangerous of them all, and it affects millions of people over the age of 65, often without them even knowing. I'm talking about sleep apnea. If you've ever been told that you snore loudly, or that you stop breathing during sleep, this section is especially for you. Sleep apnea is a condition where your breathing repeatedly stops and starts during sleep. Every time this happens, your oxygen levels drop and your body jolts itself awake. This leads to fragmented sleep. But more importantly, it causes spikes in blood pressure throughout the night. These repeated surges in pressure put enormous stress on your blood vessels, especially those in the brain. Over time, untreated sleep apnea significantly increases the risk of both heart attack and stroke, and yet most people brush it off. I'm just a loud snorer, they say, or I've always slept this way. But stroke doesn't care if you've always been that way. If you're waking up tired, if you snore loudly, or if your partner has noticed pauses in your breathing, please don't ignore it. Talk to your doctor. You may need a sleep study, which can now even be done at home in many places. And if diagnosed, there are effective treatments like CPAP machines or oral appliances that can protect your health and dramatically reduce your stroke risk. Don't wait for a crisis to find out something was wrong. Sometimes the warning signs are right there, hidden in your sleep. If you've made it to this point in the video, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, because this isn't just about watching a video. It's about choosing to care for yourself, choosing to stay informed, and choosing to take steps, however small, to protect your health. Let me remind you, strokes often happen suddenly, but they're rarely caused by just one thing. More often, they're the result of many small factors building up over time. And bedtime, while it seems peaceful, is a critical time for the body. It's when your blood pressure should drop. It's when your heart should rest. It's when your brain needs deep oxygenated sleep to repair and renew. So what you do in that final hour before sleep, it matters more than you may have realized. Here's the good news. You have the power to change these habits. You don't need to do all 6 at once. Pick 1 or 2 that stood out to you. Maybe it's adjusting the time you eat dinner. Maybe it's checking with your doctor about your snoring. Maybe it's finally setting a phone reminder to take your evening pills. These are quiet, simple acts of self-respect. They tell your body, I care about you. And when you start treating your body with that kind of care, it responds. Your blood pressure stabilizes, your sleep deepens, your mind becomes clearer, and your risk of stroke, one of the most feared conditions in later life, begins to drop. And if you're someone who's already experienced a mini stroke or has a family history of stroke, please take this message seriously. Prevention is always easier than recovery. Now, if this video spoke to you, I'd love for you to do 2 things. First, consider sharing it with someone else over 60. It might be your partner, your neighbor, your parent, or even a friend who lives alone. Many of these habits happen in private, and sometimes we don't realize they're harmful until someone gently points it out. Second, if you found this helpful and want more videos like this on healthy aging, gentle lifestyle changes, and wisdom for life after 60, consider subscribing to the channel. This is a space where we value truth, simplicity, and real conversation. No gimmicks, no pressure, just meaningful guidance to help you live a longer, healthier life. And finally, I'll leave you with this thought. Your life doesn't have to get smaller as you get older. In fact, With the right knowledge and a little attention to detail, your later years can be your strongest, clearest, and most peaceful yet. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring for yourself. I'm so glad we could share this time together. Until next time, rest well and take care of that amazing body and mind of yours.